The sky cracked open with thunder, rain pelting the earth like tears from the heavens. In a small cabin on the edge of the forest, a mother clutched her newborn twin babies to her chest, her body trembling, not from the cold but from fear. Something was coming. Something ancient, massive, and monstrous. Outside, trees snapped like twigs. The forest was screaming. Inside, Max, a golden retriever with a heart bigger than his body, stood in front of the cabin door. His ears perked, his eyes fixed, his growl low and steady. He felt it. Danger. And he knew it was his job to protect them. Just 12 hours ago, everything was normal. The family had come to their secluded cabin for peace, for fresh air, for bonding. The twins were just 5 weeks old. Their names? Noah and Eli. Tiny, fragile, and full of life. Their mother, Sarah, was finally smiling again after a long, difficult birth. Life was beginning to feel whole again. Max had been their companion for 6 years. Loyal, protective, playful. He had been by Sarah's side during her pregnancy, never once leaving her alone. He slept beside the crib every night since the twins were born. But now, as the ground quaked beneath them, Max didn't wag his tail. He braced himself. Sarah peered through the rain-covered window and froze. Her breath caught. Towering above the treetops, a shadow moved. Massive. Slow. With a roar that shattered the sky. "Oh my God, it can't be," she whispered. The dinosaur, a Tyrannosaurus rex, stepped into the clearing. Each step a thunderclap. Mud splashed beneath its feet. Its eyes scanned the area, nose sniffing the air. It had followed the scent of life. Of warmth. Of blood. Sarah backed away from the window, holding her babies tighter. Her hands trembled. She looked to Max. "Please, protect them." Max barked once. Loud. Firm. Then pushed the cabin door open with his nose and ran into the storm. The beast turned. It saw him. A golden blur against the dark, wet woods. Max charged, not with the hope of winning, but to buy time. He barked, ran in zigzags, kicked up dirt, led the dinosaur away from the cabin. The T-Rex roared again, annoyed, curious. And it chased. Back in the cabin, Sarah placed the babies in a hidden nook beneath the floorboards, something her late husband had built in case of intruders. She whispered, "Stay quiet, my loves. Be brave like Max." Then she grabbed the emergency flare gun from the wall. Her hands still shook, but her mind was clear now. She wouldn't go down without a fight. Outside, Max was tiring. The giant was gaining. Trees crashed behind him. The heat of the beast's breath singed his fur. He dove into a thicket, circled back, and reappeared in front of the dinosaur, barking with all his might. The T-Rex slowed. Confused. Annoyed. Then Sarah stepped out. "Hey! Over here!" she screamed, waving the flare gun. The dinosaur turned toward her. Max growled, limped beside her. She raised the flare and fired. The red light soared into the sky, exploding into brightness. The beast hesitated. Max took his chance. With a burst of strength, he launched himself at the dinosaur's ankle, teeth sinking into thick, scaled flesh. The dinosaur let out a deafening shriek and stumbled. Sarah grabbed Max and pulled him back just in time. But the ground shook again. The beast wasn't finished. It began charging. Sarah ran, holding Max's collar, limping toward the cabin. Behind them, the roar of ancient rage filled the night. She reached the door. And then, crash! The cabin wall exploded. To be continued. The wooden frame of the cabin splintered like matchsticks. Shards flew across the room. Glass rained from the windows, and the roof groaned under the sheer force of impact. The dinosaur's head forced its way inside, jaws open, teeth dripping with hunger and fury. Its roar made the air tremble. Sarah fell to the floor with Max beside her, shielding him with her arm as debris rained down. Her ears rang. Her chest heaved. Somehow, the twins didn't cry. Hidden beneath the floor, they remained silent, as if even they sensed the danger looming just above them. Max sprang up, barking frantically, despite the blood trickling down his leg. His eyes locked onto the beast's snout, and he lunged, biting at it with everything he had left. The dinosaur reared back, surprised at the dog's tenacity. Sarah crawled to the corner, yanking a jagged piece of wood from the wreckage. Her hands were cut and bleeding, but she gripped it like a spear. She stood, trembling, defiant. The beast moved again, its eyes narrowing at the tiny creature before it. "Get away from my children," she screamed. Max leapt again, biting, dodging. A swing of the tail sent him flying into the wall with a yelp. Sarah screamed, rushing to him. He whimpered but nudged her with his nose. He wasn't done yet. The dinosaur stepped fully inside now, the cabin collapsing behind it. It lowered its head, teeth bared. Sarah took one step forward. And then flashing lights. A deep mechanical hum. A sound not from nature. From the sky above the shattered roof, a spotlight flared. A helicopter. "This is Rescue Unit Charlie." "Hold on," crackled a voice from a loudspeaker. A metal net fired down, striking the dinosaur's shoulder. It roared, shaking violently. The beast snapped the net, but it bought precious seconds. Sarah screamed upward. "There are babies inside. Save them." Max barked repeatedly, as if to point them to the trapdoor. A rope dropped. A soldier descended fast, landing near the destroyed doorway. His eyes scanned the chaos. "Where?" Sarah pointed. "There." The soldier rushed, ripping open the floorboards. Inside, Noah and Eli lay tucked in, quiet, still, miraculously unharmed. He scooped them both into his arms, securing them in a thermal sling. Another spotlight turned toward the dinosaur. A second chopper appeared. "Deploying sound cannons," a voice called. A sonic pulse burst through the trees. The dinosaur screamed in agony, its sensitive hearing overwhelmed. It turned, thrashing wildly, stomping through the cabin as it stumbled back into the woods. Sarah grabbed Max. He couldn't walk, not anymore. His leg was broken. She looked up at the helicopter. The soldier radioed, "We need a lift, 3 evac, 1 injured canine." Max licked Sarah's cheek. She cradled his head, whispering, "You held them safe. You saved my boys." The rescue team loaded them into harnesses. Sarah clutched her children. Max was hoisted beside them in a sling, his head peeking out just enough to see the wreckage below. As they rose into the sky, Sarah looked down at the ruined cabin, the shredded trees, the trail of destruction left behind by something no human should have seen. But through all of it, one thing stood tall, a dog's love. From the cockpit, the pilot glanced back. "You're lucky. We never would have gotten here in time without that flare." Sarah looked at Max. "I didn't fire it." "He did." The soldier looked confused. "What?" She smiled faintly, brushing the dog's fur. "He pulled the string. I watched him do it." Max let out a small, proud bark. The helicopter flew into the clouds, the forest shrinking below them. But the battle wasn't over. Because somewhere deep in that same forest, the dinosaur still roamed. And it was bleeding. To be continued. The helicopter soared over the dense forest as the storm finally began to break. Golden sunlight pierced the clouds, casting a soft glow on the treetops below. Inside the chopper, Sarah sat with her arms wrapped tightly around her sons, one on each side, sleeping peacefully. Beside her lay Max, bandaged but breathing, his head resting gently on her lap. A medic beside them applied another bandage to Max's ribs. "He's a miracle," he said. "Most dogs would have run." Sarah looked down at the golden retriever and whispered, "He's not just a dog. He's family." By the time they landed at the emergency field base set up just outside the forest perimeter, the media had already arrived. Cameras flashed. Reporters crowded the landing pad, asking questions no one yet had answers to. Sarah stepped out slowly, shielding her babies from the chaos. Max was carried out on a stretcher, his eyes still alert, scanning the crowd. The crowd hushed. Even hardened reporters softened as they saw him. One reporter stepped forward, holding a microphone. "Ma'am, can you tell us what happened? People are saying you were attacked by a dinosaur." Sarah looked directly at the camera, her voice steady. "We were saved. Not by luck. Not by weapons. But by love. By a dog who never gave up, even when facing something no one could believe was real." The footage aired globally. Scientists debated the reality of the creature. Military teams were deployed to scour the forest. But all that came later. Right now, Sarah and her boys were safe. And Max was recovering. Days passed. Max underwent surgery for his broken leg. He was given a Medal of Bravery by the local mayor. Children from around the country sent cards, drawings, and treats addressed to Max the dinosaur fighter. Sarah sat by his side every night, reading aloud to him and the twins as they dozed in their hospital room. And one night, as the moonlight spilled through the window, Max stood on all fours again. Wobbly at first, but strong. He walked over to the crib, licked both twins gently on their cheeks, and then curled up between them. Sarah smiled through tears. "You brought us home, Max." The cabin was never rebuilt. The forest was declared off-limits and sealed for investigation. But the memory of that night lived on. Years later, a children's book appeared on shelves across the country, Asterisk, the dog who fought a dinosaur. Asterisk written by Sarah herself, it became a symbol of courage, loyalty, and the unbreakable bond between a family and their protector. Final message asterisk. Love doesn't wear armor. It doesn't wield weapons. Sometimes it just has 4 legs, golden fur, and the heart of a lion. Moral of the story asterisk. True bravery isn't about size or strength. It's about standing between danger and the ones you love, no matter the cost. And sometimes heroes don't wear capes, they wear collars.